In today's video, I'm sharing with you my workflow between Apple and Pixel devices. Let's get right into it. Okay friends, so I got this question quite a few times on some recent Pixel videos. Thank you so much for sending the question in, by the way. I think it's a really good question, a really fair and valid question, especially because you all know that my phone is the Google Pixel 9 Pro, but also in all of my videos, or most of my videos, you can clearly see that I have an iMac in the background. And yes, I do use Apple devices in my life, and they are pretty much for work. So I'll explain to you just exactly how the workflow works between the Pixel devices and my Apple devices. I will start things off by just saying what devices I have. So of course, you all know my main phone, my only phone that I have is the Google Pixel 9 Pro. I don't have a separate work phone or anything like that. I just use one single phone, and that is the Pixel phone. Now, other devices. I have a watch. I have a smartwatch. And this is the Google Pixel Watch 2. It's the second one, not the latest one. The latest one is the 3. And no, I'm not getting the 3. And of course, this synchronizes really well with my Google Pixel 9 Pro for obvious reasons. You can even see that I have the viewfinder on here for this video. Other devices. I have a doorbell, a smart doorbell. I have a bunch of cameras around my house. I have a thermostat. All of these things are smart devices, and they synchronize really well with Google. They're either like Google authorized devices, Google devices, or they synchronize with Google Home really well. So all of these devices work really well with Google. Now, for my work devices, specifically for work, I use Apple products for work because I work in a creative field, and I personally think that Apple products really shine in the creative area. So I have this iMac, of course. I think it's from 2019. I have a MacBook as well. It's very old. All of my Apple products are extremely old, and I'm gonna hold on to them for as long as I possibly can because they are pricey and I don't want new ones. But I also have a MacBook, and then I also have an iPad. So this iPad, again, very old. This one is like maybe 9 years old at this point. But yeah, those are my three main devices. I also have a MacBook for my 9 to 5 job, so that makes like an additional Apple product, but that is specific to that side of the world. But for like my personal content creation, I use those three Apple devices. Now, with all that being said, I think you can kind of see the clear distinction between my personal life, things that I use on the daily, and my work life, which I do also use on the daily, but it's very, very specific to work, and that is Apple. But moving on to how I sync everything up, how I'm able to transfer files to and from certain devices that aren't part of the Apple ecosystem. To start off, the only files or things that I'm transferring to and from are photos and videos. That's literally it. I obviously post a lot of photos and video content, so that's the reason why those are the two biggest things. And I'll explain the other things. I have like an other category later on in this video, but more or less just photos and videos is being transferred to and from. When I am sending files to my iPad in particular, I am pretty much just sending photos. I send photos for annotating photos so that I can post it on my Instagram feed, or I am editing thumbnails on my iPad as well. I use the app Procreate, which is why I really lean on my iPad for those types of photo editing and needing photos transferred from my Google Pixel 9 Pro to there. So what I essentially do is use Google Drive. I have the Google Drive app on my iPad, and I will send photos from my Google Pixel 9 Pro. I'll upload photos from my Google Pixel 9 Pro to Google Drive, and then I'll just open the Google Drive app on my iPad, download from there, and then send it to Procreate, which is where I do all of the editing on my iPad. Very simple. It's very fast. Honestly, Google Drive uploads super fast, and I have a lot of storage in there, so that's essentially what I do. Now, when I'm sending files to my iMac over here, it is video files. It's almost always just video files. Sometimes photo files as well, and like I said, I use Google Drive for that, but more or less it's video, and those get really hefty, so I definitely do not do that through Google Drive. I actually use a program called Android File Transfer. It's a program you can probably see right over here, that little green Android, and I think it's a very simple app to download. It's not something that you have to jump through hoops to download. I'm pretty sure Ian downloaded it for me, but I'm pretty sure it's very easy to do because he did it in like 2 seconds. Once Android File Transfer is downloaded onto the iMac, I connect a USB-C to the iMac. There's a bunch of ports on the back of this thing. And I use the USB-C to connect my Google Pixel 9 Pro to the iMac. As soon as I do that, the Google Pixel 9 Pro will automatically pop up with some prompts in the notifications bar. And it'll say something like charging via USB-C or something like that. That's just the default setting. As soon as you plug it into the iMac, it just starts charging and doesn't do anything else. But you just click into a couple of areas once that pop-up shows up in the notification bar, and you could see something that says like data transfer. And once you click on that, this app, this program, Android File Transfer, will automatically open on the iMac, and it will load up all of the files that you have on your phone, on your Android phone. And then I literally just drag and drop the files that I need, the video files, onto my desktop. You might even see that I have a bunch of files on my desktop right now, and that's because I just recently dragged and dropped a bunch of video clips that I have for another video going out this week. And that's essentially how I do it. It does take a little bit longer than AirDrop. It's not going to take like seconds. It does take a few minutes to drag and drop all of those files that are very, very large, but I plug it in, I let it go for a couple of minutes, and I go and I do something else. I come back and all of the files are there. It's not really an issue. Now, if I need to transfer files to and from other devices from there, again, I lean on two things, Google Drive or AirDrop. Of course, Google Drive, I've already explained it several times how I use Google Drive. It's between devices that are not Apple devices, so it doesn't have that Apple ecosystem. But say I am transferring some photos, say I finished editing a thumbnail on my iPad and I want to transfer it over to my iMac, you all know I'm using AirDrop there in that instance because it only makes sense to do that between two Apple devices. Of course, if you did not know, when I'm uploading files to Google Drive, I just go onto the desired device that I want to download the file to, and I'll just hit download and it downloads into my phone. So for example, if I did a reel on my iMac and then I uploaded it to Google Drive, I would open Google Drive on my Google Pixel 9 Pro, get to the file, download it, and then it's just a video file on my phone that I would upload to Instagram Reels. Google Drive is a fantastic option. It's basically just a massive cloud to just keep all of your stuff in there, and I've been using it since college, so it's just tried and true for me, and the case probably is the same for anybody that uses Google. Okay, so now for the other things, basically anything that's not a photo or a video file. To be honest, all of my work is done on web-based programs, apps, or a cloud. So for example, Canva you can open up on any computer and I can get access to all of my Canva files. Google Keep, Google Calendar, you all know that I use those very frequently and I've always used those for years and years. Those things can be pulled up through a web browser. So again, it's not something that I need to necessarily transfer from like say a note on my iMac to a Google Keep note on my Google Pixel 9 Pro. I just use Google Keep. And of course, Notion. Notion is a big, big help because again, it's another program that is web-based. I can open it up on my phone. I can open it up on my iPad, which I literally have open right now. I use the notes for my YouTube video in Notion. I can open it up on my iMac as well. So all of those things just make it super seamless, not just between my phone and Apple devices, but just anywhere. I have access to everything that I need to do anywhere. So say I forget something, I would never forget my phone, but say I didn't have access to my phone at a given point, I can pull it up on another device or something like that. I can even pull it up on someone else's device if my phone died or something like that. So I really, really lean into programs like that, cloud-based programs, web programs, just for the convenience, the overall general convenience of it, not just because I need to use it between Android and Apple. Okay, friends, I hope that was easy to follow. Long story short, Google Drive, Android file transfer, AirDrop whenever it's applicable, which is not often to be honest with you, and web-based programs or clouds. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need me to clarify anything here, but basically it is not hard at all to have Android phones, Google phones, and also use Apple. I know it's not as seamless as AirDrop, and honestly, AirDrop is fantastic, but it really does frustrate me sometimes as well. So I'm just gonna say AirDrop isn't perfect either. The process that I use has been working for me for many, many years, and I'm just gonna continue using it. If it works, then why change anything up, you know? But yeah, that is my workflow process. Thank you so much for sending in that question once again. If you have any other questions, any additional questions, I am keeping watch on all of the comments on my Pixel videos to make sure that I cover all of the things that you're most interested in, and I think the most Next most popular question that I'm getting is to do a day in the life using the Google Pixel 9 Pro, so that is coming up very soon, don't you worry. But thank you once again, and I will talk to you in next week's video.